Since it's going to be helpful for you, we're going to watch this quick video. Oh, here's how it's going to go. We're going to get to watch some videos today, so you don't have to get bored hearing me the entire time. Let's see if this works now. Let's see if this works.
I'm Chad Shinicki, and I want to thank you for joining me. My top priority is to make sure you get maximum value out of this course and achieve the best results possible. Now, these strategies will work if you put in the work. But don't worry, I'm here to hold your hand every step of the way. When I first got started flipping homes, I spent a lot of times off in the weeds looking at properties that were currently for sale. I would talk to real estate agents and ask them, hey, do you have a pocket listing? I put up signs, I joined real estate investment groups, I did everything that everyone said you should do. But through years of trial and error, I learned that those are not the best ways to find properties. Plus, everyone was doing all of that. I realized I had to find a way to find homes that are not currently on the market, but instead intercept them before they become available. Over the years, I have perfected a method that has helped me and those I've trained find countless homes that were not yet available to the general public. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know so that properties are finding you rather than you finding them. I designed this course to simplify everything for you and teach you exactly what to do without any of the fluff. I've taken the last 33 years of my real estate investing career and I've condensed it down to what I think are the most important actions you can take to get your desired results. And it's all using the most streamlined process possible. These are my trade secrets and the same methods that I personally use that have led to over $100 million in real estate transactions for me. Until now, I've only taught these strategies to a handful of students in my private coaching sessions. Well, the results were so amazing, I decided to finally share my message with a wider audience. Included in this course is a step-by-step guide to the best properties, how to find them, as well as resources to help make the process go as smoothly as possible. Again, thank you for joining me and letting me help guide you on your real estate investing journey. You've already taken the first big step. Now it's time to carry the momentum forward and get the process started.
Okay, so we got to learn how to intercept properties. That's pretty clear, right? So what we're going to do now is learn the ways that I intercept the properties. And what we'll do is we'll watch a short video, take notes during it, and then after the video we'll discuss. And then I'd love to have maybe just a real world example of how some dialogue, and we can talk about how this could help you finding properties.
In this video, I'll be covering the basics of how to build a property finding funnel. Here's the problem. You're just one person. And if you try to talk to realtors or look on the MLS or try to find some kind of pocket listing, you're just not going to be successful. There's not enough profit in those methods and they just don't work like they used to. You don't have the time to be able to go out and do all of the research necessary to find the very best properties in the markets in which you want to invest. That's why you need to put other people to work for you. Your time is best spent analyzing property. The more properties you're able to analyze, the more properties you're able to look at, the more likely it's going to be that you'll be successful. Because real estate is a numbers game. You want to get as many people sending you as many properties as possible. Your time's going to be best used, most effectively used, analyzing the specifics of each deal and trying to decide which one is most profitable. Go tell everyone that you know that you're looking for properties to buy. Anyone in your circle of influence, people that know you, people that love you, people that trust you, people that owe you. You're looking for properties that are not on the MLS and might not even be for sale right now. The reason these people know about these properties is because they might have an extended family member or friend who recently passed away. Or they might know of someone who got a divorce. Maybe when someone's getting relocated and needs to sell. Basically, you're just trying to find properties that have not been remodeled and somebody else needs to sell them. This strategy is extremely effective because more than likely you already have a property waiting for you inside your immediate sphere of influence. The majority of the properties that I flip come from this exact strategy. Basically, I've trained all my family and friends and taught them what I'm looking for in a property. Now I have an army of people out there sending me deals, filling my funnel. So why would someone send you properties? What's in it for them? To create a win-win situation for the people that find you homes, it's really simple. Like if a family member, a friend, or someone that's a non-professional, I'll generally pay them some sort of a finder's fee, like a wholesale fee. And that'll normally range between, say, $2,500 and $10,000. It could be more, but this creates a very good opportunity for them, and it makes it a win-win situation. They're incentivized to go out and find additional properties, and every time they do, you just pay them a fee, or you could pay them a percentage based off of the sales price. But in my 33 years of business, I've never seen someone not be able to find a property once they start looking. Once you tell everyone that you're actively looking for real estate properties, it'll almost become like a challenge for them to find you one. Once you have a reputation as an investor, the properties are just going to start to funnel in. Once you have an army of people working as your eyes and ears on the ground, you're able to free up your time to spend it where it is most useful. And that's in analyzing the properties. You're going to have a bunch of your family, friends, and associates sending you properties, but a lot of what they're going to send you, it's just simply not going to work. And this could be for a variety of reasons. Most of the time, it's just going to be too expensive. Or maybe there's not enough profit in the deal. Maybe it's going to cost too much to renovate it. But the bottom line is, the more properties you look at, the higher the chance you're going to have to find a really good deal. You really only have a certain amount of time that you're able to dedicate to looking for properties. So you've probably heard it said before that your network is your net worth. And this is really true in real estate. The more people you're in contact with, the more people that you can have out working for you, the better. And the great thing is you got to realize they're basically working for free up front. I mean, you don't have to pay them anything to start right now. The only time you would pay them is if they find a viable deal. So you instantly have an entire team of people out looking for real estate for no money. Well, there you have it. That is the exact process I use to build my property finding funnel. Be sure to finish this course in its entirety, as I will be sharing my criteria and specific resources for building your funnel later on in this course. But that's it for this video. If you have any further questions, please let me know.
All right, so we're gonna go in. We'll go into real specific details in a couple other videos about how the funnel actually works. Also, I'm gonna give everybody like the scripts and the templates of the emails and the text message. We'll get into all that. I'm gonna show you how the funnel actually works. Another thing we're gonna get into is the 3Ds. The 3Ds. This is gonna be really important. We'll get into it. Go ahead and write this down. Triple D, 3Ds. It's a little bit of a sensitive subject, but here we go, folks. Death, divorce, displacement. Death, divorce, displacement. Those are the three big those triple D, that's the reason people sell. Death, divorce, displacement. We'll go over that. What I was talking about in that video is you going out and enlisting everyone else that you know, have them become. I'm going to show you how to do it specifically with scripts and emails and that sort of thing later in this course. But the concept is this: you're one person, and real estate is a contact sport. You have to contact a bunch of people. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn everyone that you've met into a pair of eyes out looking for real estate. I'll be teaching you how to do that as we go on in the course, but basically what it is you are, from this moment forward, an active real estate investor. So when someone asks you, what do you do for a living? You say, I'm in the house flipping business, or I'm in the real estate business, I focus on flips, or I'm in the real estate business, I focus on rentals. That's what you say. You don't say, I'm a salesman at a medical company. You don't say I'm a nurse. You don't say I work in a warehouse. You say I'm a real estate investor. To everybody you talk to, people in the bank, people in line at the grocery store, most of the deals end up coming from people that you meet. We're going to talk about some books you can possibly read later in the question and answer sessions. A much better book than a real estate book would be a book about getting to know people. So we're going to get into the triple D of finding what I call finding properties that need to be sold. And you're gonna wanna watch this video because we're gonna go into how each part of it works. And then notice the difference. We're gonna really talk after this video about wants versus needs when it comes to selling. Wants versus needs when it comes to selling. Let's see if this video comes in.
How do you find properties that people need to sell? Well, that's the second portion of your funnel. It's going to be working with professionals to help you find properties that people need to sell. That brings up the 3 Ds. In every market, every day, properties are going to become available due to death, divorce, and displacement. And while that's sad, there is good news. You can create a win-win situation by bringing an influx of cash at a time that could be greatly appreciated, and in many cases, very necessary. Positioned as a cash buyer, you could close in as little as 48 hours. You're gonna buy the house as is, where is, with all of its faults. So the sellers don't have to go through the time and expense of repairing the home before it goes on the market. Now this can really help the sellers in difficult situations. It can totally take a burden off of them. And think about it, no real estate agent, no fees, no time on the market, no renovation time or costs, and you're gonna pay them a fair price. This could be a huge relief to the estate, to the heirs, to the lawyers, to the beneficiaries of the will or the trust, knowing that they're not gonna have to go out and renovate the home. They don't have to contact realtors, cleaners, painters, or title companies. They can simply have someone give them the cash for the property. This is a huge benefit and can actually aid in the recovery from difficult circumstances. Don't forget, a lot of the time, people will inherit a property, they typically share it, like with some of their siblings or other people. And they typically are gonna push for some sort of a quick cash close. I have a huge list of different professions that can help you find the triple D properties. But my top 3 are lawyers, accountants, and financial planners. They're gonna likely give you the fastest results. Now, after mastering these 3 professions, you can move on to others. I'll list a few others later in this video, but to start with, you're gonna wanna focus on my 3 favorites. Top of the list, attorneys, lawyers. Real estate lawyers might seem like a pretty obvious place to start, but I've never gotten much traction with real estate lawyers. Most of the time, people contact them because they want to keep a property, not because they want to sell it. However, real estate lawyers should still be on your list. But a better option are lawyers that specialize in wills, trusts, estates, lawyers who work in probate and divorce. These types of lawyers keep a huge list of clients in their database, and they're gonna know about potential properties way before anyone else. This means that you can find properties that have not yet been listed on the MLS. Instead, they're going to be in control of the lawyer. So you'll have the ability to make an incredible deal because it's not available to the general public. Remember, everybody always calls their lawyer. Profession number 2, accountants. Why would an accountant be able to help you find real estate deals? Well, accountants know the tax implication of every asset their client has. Due to recent changes in tax law, people are capitalizing and depreciating their properties at a more rapid rate. So accountants are going to probably recommend to their clients that they sell properties that no longer serve their tax-saving purpose. They might also recommend that their client sell their second home or rental property because they're currently draining the family budget. There are so many other reasons why an accountant would recommend selling a property, but you need to build a team of high-quality accountants for your property finding funnel. Profession number 3, financial planners. The reason a financial planner would want to send you properties is because currently they make no money and no commission on their clients' real estate assets. They don't control it. But if their client currently owns a home, rental home or something, and they can sell it for like $400,000, well, that's $400,000 the financial planner can now put into an IRA, 401k, stock, bonds, or other investment-related vehicle that they control. They want to have the overall say of where their client's money goes. So financial planners are incentivized to sell things outside of the real estate model because that's where they make their commissions. Lawyers, accountants, and financial planners are the top 3 professions to start with. But the list goes on and on and on. What other professions might be a good fit for this strategy? What about retirement homes? hospice providers, home health care providers, loan officers, mortgage brokers, insurance companies. Literally, you can see that the list goes on and on. What you're trying to do is connect with professionals that will find out about a property and that it's going to become available before anybody else. Having professionals looking for properties for you will not only accomplish your immediate needs to try to find properties to flip, but it sets you up for the future because you're going to be at the top of their mind when properties become available down the road. And that's the real beauty of this system. You can start finding properties today, and over the next 6 months and 6 years in the future, you'll have this funnel just sending you properties. If you have any other questions about your property funnel and the professions that you need to fill it, just let me know.
Okay, we have to spend a little bit of time. We've just watched a couple of videos, and I wanna really get into this a little bit more than just to show the video and move on, because this is a really, really important part. And I don't want to say it's the crux of the training, but it's definitely really important that we dive into this. The video before that talked a little bit about, many of you commonly refer to it as wholesaling, where I said pay a finder's fee. So you talk to all your family and all your friends and you say, hey, I'm a real estate investor. If you find me a property, I'll pay you a wholesaling fee, $2,500 to $10,000, something like that. Wholesaling is a great way. We're going to talk about that. For some of you who aren't quite ready to jump into actually doing real estate and flipping houses, we're going to talk a little bit about wholesaling, ways for you to make money, especially if you're young and new and don't have the gravitas or the strength or whatever it is that you feel you need yet, although anybody could go out and flip a house. In this room, any person in this room right now could go out and do what I did. So remember that part of it. Now we need to talk about this property finding funnel, and you have to all put yourself back into the place where you live. So if everyone in your mind's eye can go back to where you live and think about the connections you have, 2 different types of connections right now. Think of everyone in your immediate sphere of influence, all of your extended family members, close friends, everybody that you've been associated with. How you tell them that you're now a house flipper is going to really determine how seriously they take you and how well your property finding funnel starts working from that standpoint. Let's chat about it for a little bit. One thing you can do is be convinced. You can be convinced that you're a real estate investor. You can be convinced yourself. That's going to be the hardest thing. Your number one stumbling block to you finding properties is your inability to look someone in the eye and tell them that you're a real estate investor and you want to flip a property, so send it to them. It comes natural for me, that's all I've ever said. For you, it might be kind of hard, and you're going to have to probably practice this and role play, and I'd be happy to do that with anyone as well, but you're going to want to get to the point that you develop what's called an elevator pitch. So when you're talking to people, you can just quickly and easily say something. And I'd be happy to work on some elevator pitches with you. And also I want to give you a couple of keywords that you can say when you're speaking to people that will have them take you more seriously. First and foremost, when you're trying to develop a professional property funnel, and we're going to go, there's another video that goes into details of the specifics of how this works. But basically, what you're trying to do is focus on the 3Ds, the 3Ds. And listen. Death, divorce, and displacement are difficult topics to cover. You know, my mother passed, my brother passed, people passing sucks. It just does. Sucks. We're all going to pass. So many people will have houses, and one of the first things that has to happen at that house is it has to be sold, and usually there's kids involved or heirs involved, and usually they want cash. Because if there's 5 kids, it always happens, one of them holds out and says, no, I want cash now. The rest of them say, let's save mom and dad's house. We'll use it as a vacation house, and we'll go there like we did when we were kids. And then this one brother's going to say, no, I want my money now. Let me just tell you, death, divorce, and displacement are the reason you get good deals on real estate, because the properties haven't been fixed up for a long time, because they've been battered. Death, divorce, displacement. That's it. Attorneys, accountants, financial planners. Everybody understands. You've all heard. No, I'm not breaking any new ground here when I say go to probate attorneys. You know, you all have heard that term before. Probate, buying a property out of probate. I'm sure you've thought about, hey, it'd be great to get a house that, and how do I find that home though? The attorney has the house. The accountant has the house. The financial planner right now, those top three professions, they have the homes you're looking for. They represent their clients, and their clients have properties that need to be sold. Question, yes?
First question of the day.
Hey, yes, let's break this right now. Question. Wow, either I'm talking too loud and too fast and not allowing a break, or I've put you to sleep. I'm happy for the question. Let's have it.
All right, so in the case of professionals, approaching professionals, are they allowed technically or legally to take a finder's fee if we were to offer that?
Such a great question. We're going to talk about that actually in one of the videos that I say. So Darren's question was, do you have to pay a professional a finder's fee? Is that something they would expect? No, you do not pay a professional a finder's fee. As a matter of fact, in some places that could be illegal or considered a kickback. If you went to a lawyer and said, hey, I'll give you some money, you give me a client, or you go to an accountant, there could be some quid pro quo there. So I will just say this, no, you cannot pay them, yes?
So what's their incentive?
What is their incentive? That's a great question. We'll get into that in that video, but most of the time, if the lawyer or the accountant or the financial planner has a property and they have a client that has a property that needs to be sold, they're going to be looking for you. Their incentive is, so in the lawyer's case, the lawyer has a fiduciary responsibility and a legal obligation to sell that property quickly. That's his responsibility. As the lawyer, he's in charge of probate, will, estate, trust, that sort of thing. He has a responsibility. He has to. So the lawyer's incentivized because through the course of business, he has to help his client relinquish the property. The accountant is incentivized because he is pulling his hair out watching his client's money get bled on that second home or that investment property or the property that they've already capitalized and appreciates. So the accountant wants to get rid of the property. The incentive for the financial planner is, as stated in the video, hey, the financial planners right now, think of those guys. Everybody knows, and some women are financial planners, men and women financial planners. All of them are the same. They're real sharp. But think about it. They always want to try to get your money under their umbrella. If you've ever met a successful financial planner, that financial planner has a way of pulling you in and getting all of your assets. They're super incentivized to sell the property because that's a huge chunk of money that financial planner can't get a commission on, can't touch, and so they love to see it. There were some other professions, and I don't like to go down this road too deeply, but look, you want to find properties? Let's rip the Band-Aid off and tell you where they are. People die, people get divorced, and people get hit by hurricanes and fires and theft and natural disasters. Those are the best types of properties. Those are the best types of properties. Divorce, displacement, and death. And the reason the death, unfortunately, is such a good one is because most of the time, the people have lived the people live in the home for a long period of time and then they pass away and then they sell that to their kids inherit it and the kids just want to sell it. So, we're going to talk about that. I've got some statistics about that and where we're going with that. But all the way down the line, every one of the professions that I mentioned is incentivized to send you a property. Let's take a look at, I mentioned briefly, yes, question, great question.
How do you build that network of lawyers?
Perfect. We're going to go into the exact specifics of how to build the network. And again, you'll see, I'm going to give you scripts. You're going to have the actual script so that when you call them, you can read them. You're going to have actual written letters. Everybody's going to download a PDF with all of my forms. They screwed up on your binder. You were supposed to have it. I was at Staples last night. You all were supposed to have a full color binder with all the stuff in the back. And Avery, the nice girl with the green hair, was super polite, but she messed up on the order, so she gave me these for free. I tipped her $100 though. But okay, so I'll get you those forms. So yes, question, Jonah.
I just noticed that one of the professions that you don't mention is the real estate broker or agent.
This is such a great observation that Jonah just made. She pointed out in the professions I'm talking about, not once did I say real estate agent or real estate broker. Not one time. And that's because I never, ever, 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 ever buy investment-related real estate using a realtor. You can buy your personal primary residence using a realtor. That's fine. That's where you're going to put your head. That's where you're going to sleep at night. That's different. You know, you might want to be in certain schools or a certain zip code or whatever. You might use a realtor if you're going to buy a second home. You want to go find all the best properties up on a lake or something. But you do not ever, ever, ever use a realtor when you're buying houses to flip. That's your whole profit right there. That's your whole profit gone. If you contact a realtor to buy a piece of property, that's your 20% right there. When I say buy properties 20 to 30% below market value, that's because I don't use a realtor. Let's do the quick math. Realtors always charge, you can get cheap discount realtors for a point, but you're going to get what you pay for. Plan on 5% when you sell. Just plan on it. Just plan on 5%. I always use a realtor when I sell. I never use a realtor when I buy. I always use a realtor when I sell. Realtors are not on my list ever, ever, ever for property. Ever. They're the very last person you would ever contact if you ever wanted a piece of real estate. The very last one you would talk to. First of all, I love realtors. There are several in this room. I'm not going to single them out, but here's what happens. This realtor wants to sell a piece of property for their client. This realtor wants their client to buy a piece of property. Both of the realtors are completely incentivized to make the deal go through. This one doesn't really care about his client's needs, and this one doesn't really care about his client's needs. They can talk a lot like, oh, I'm a realtor with a heart and all this kind of stuff. I've been doing this 33 years. I love my realtor friends. All they care about is that closing. That's it, that's it, that's it. And they conspire against you and work behind your back. I'm telling you, they're not how you cannot make money in the house flipping business if you use a realtor to buy the property. When I say 20 to 30% below market value, it's because we're not using realtors. We're going directly to the source. We're bypassing the realtors, and we do that by going to the people who actually control the homes. Where do you think the realtors get all the houses? The realtors, the successful listing agents, make 200 phone calls every morning, thousands of emails, every broker event, every open house, every caravan. They're out there just working, trying to get what I'm going to teach you how to get way before this, way better than doing all that. But no, realtors are not where you'll find it. Real estate brokers, never. If you're going to buy it now, if you're going to live in it, fine, call a realtor, but never call a realtor if you're going to buy investment-related real estate. Let's talk about a couple of the other professions. That was a couple of great questions and observations there. Keep the questions coming. A couple of other, so look, a little bit of a sensitive topic here, but as if you know, a very common scenario is the father of the house passes away, the mother keeps the house, and she lives there until she can't take care of herself anymore. What happens when she can't take care of herself anymore? When we have our 75, 79-year-old mom, 80-year-old mom, father's passed away, what happens to mom? Where does she go? Usually with one of the kids or some kind of assisted living, some sort of retirement place. Where that mom goes is where you need to go beforehand. What if, just saying, you were friends with the director of admissions or the director of sales at the most prominent nursing home in the area? And what if you went to that person and you said, hey, listen, I know that you're going to have people that are going to transition from living in their personal primary residence to come live in this healthcare facility. I'm a cash buyer for properties. If you're having people, I know it, because these places cost like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. I'm a cash buyer for your properties. If you have a client who's going to be coming and they don't want to mess with realtors, and they don't want to sell their house, they don't want to worry about it, I'll buy it all, as is, where is, with all faults. I'll close in 48 hours and I'll pay cash. Now listen, that's what you always say because that's what you can do. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. You always tell them, look, I'll close in 48 hours and I'll pay cash. That just automatically just gets them dinging. That's what you say. But here's what happens. Home health care providers, what about these people that are doing hospice care? What about the insurance companies that deal with, there's been a fire, there's been a hurricane, there's been a flood. These properties are gems because you can pick them up for a small amount of money, and then all of the money in renovation, all of the money in flipping houses is made when you buy the house up front. So if you are contacting these people who will have control over the property, you didn't contact a realtor, there's your 20% right there. Remember, these realtors, they automatically inflate the prices over the entire market. As they start getting together, they'll come in and they'll say, hey, I want to list, and they'll list it here, and they'll list too high, and then then they just work together to kind of like, look, there's a lot of really great realtors out there. Some of them are my really good friends. Just you can't buy with them. You can only sell. So go directly to the source. The lawyers will be the best. There is competition there. I didn't pioneer. I did my first infomercial thing back with Dean Graziosi back in 2008 when I was doing the Dean Graziosi stuff. He had me become an expert on probate, and I did a whole infomercial training thing on probate. That's not new. Buying a property from an attorney, I didn't come up with that. Probate is a great way to go. Lawyers are a great way to go. Not real estate lawyers, but probate, divorce. Divorce lawyers are great. You tell the divorce lawyer, hey, you get anybody come to you, I'll buy their property right now. The guy, so what happens is the divorce lawyer's sitting across from his client, and the dude's like, man, I got it. And then he says, well, I got somebody that'll buy that summer house from you, or listen, the lawyers are gonna be the best, and the accountants will be second best. Financial planners, that would be my top three. But please, there is nobody in America right now going to a hospice provider and saying, hey, hospice provider, you're going into some of these homes to take care of people. I just want you to know I'm a cash buyer. I love their house. I'd love to live in that neighborhood or whatever. Listen, you have to go to the source. So if this kind of topic, death, divorce, displacement, is not your cup of tea, then this is not the right industry for you. Because if you're just going to throw darts at a board like all the other people that call the MLS or talk to their realtor who has maybe a pocket listing, you're not going to have a very successful time at it. Okay? You have to get over the fact that there is death, divorce, and displacement. You have to have uncomfortable conversations with potential people. I had a partner come to me not long ago and said, hey, I've got a contract. There's a huge business now that's coming out because people are living longer, and so we're having these women especially that just need to transition. They have all of the stuff in their house, and they got to get from this home to this home. So there's this whole industry that has been born of companies that will come in and they help the people just move. Packs up mom's thing. They call it like mom's closet or something, and they come in and they go through all of the stuff. Listen, if you'll take this out, I don't want to spend too much time in this, but this is the crux of finding properties that are not on the MLS. You have to go to the source. You have to beat the realtor there. So you have to find people that need to sell, not want to sell. We're looking for homes that are old and beat up and in bad condition and have been neglected and not taken care of, because that's the only real way to make money in house flipping. You can't do a lipstick flip and make money. Death, divorce, and displacement, the triple D. Triple Ds are the best thing in the world, and that's what you need to look for in every possible scenario. Accountants, lawyers, financial planners, home health care providers, hospice providers, nursing homes, insurance companies. When you go down to when there's a big hurricane, let me tell you what happens. A lot of people just walk from the house. They get a check from the insurance company. The insurance company has to get rid of the property. You can go into some cities and get houses that have been abandoned. The key is getting properties that have not yet been listed on the MLS. We're going to go to some more videos, but I would love to take any questions about anything I've said, death, divorce, displacement, getting to the client beforehand. I'm going to teach you what to say. Don't worry. I'll teach you, and the steps too. I'll teach you how many times to contact them, and we also give you like I said, even like the text messages because a lot of people will text and stuff. We're going to teach you all that. Okay. No more. Yes. Question, Mike.
How important is it to be close in proximity to where you live?
Oh, that's the best question. Okay, so the question from Mike was how important it is to live close to what kind of proximity? How close to the property that you want to flip? How close? What's that like? So the first thing I would say is you need to determine where it is you want to invest. That's the first choice. Where do you want to invest? So for me personally, I like to invest in some place that I can see the property often. because I'm really hands-on when I'm flipping. Also, I'm not flipping $200,000 houses. I'm flipping multi-million-dollar houses. So I need to be eyes on the property. So for me, if I'm going to be actively flipping, I don't want it to be longer than a 30 or a 40-minute drive away if I'm going to actively be flipping it. So to me, I would draw a circle no more than 1 hour, but I would want it to be, 30 minutes, because you got to go there twice a day, 3 times. Sometimes I go 3 times a day. Twice a day, once a day for sure, Monday through Friday. Once a day, 6 times a week. That's how I do it. Other people are hands off. You're going to talk to other real estate experts that they don't ever go to visit the property. To me, proximity is key because I want to keep an eye on the project, and I've got millions of dollars at stake, and I'm not going to let it just fall apart. I got to be there, and if I'm there, it's getting done. Period. So that's a great question, Mike. You want to be close to the property. However, just because you're close to the property doesn't mean that you have to be the one close to the property. If you have someone you know and trust and you're working with, and they're in Florida and they can be at the property, here's the key. You cannot flip property remotely unless you have someone you can trust who's on the ground there. Someone has to physically be there, and I don't like the FaceTime thing where you have your contractor, yeah, look, this all looks good. I like someone physically on property. So if you're going to flip, you should plan on being there. If you're going to flip remotely, you should plan on having someone you know and trust really, really well. Question in the back, yes?
So I'm originally from California, just recently moved to Florida, and we got hit by a hurricane last year. But I've noticed that there's just this beautiful area where there's like gorgeous homes, but then every once in a while there's just the really crappy homes.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with the area, but I would love to flip properties, but I'm a little bit hesitant because of the hurricane situation. If it's going to happen again, is there an interest for people to move there? I mean, it still feels like everyone's still buying there.
Yes. So what happens? Great question. Adley's question was, what about, you're mentioning hurricanes? Well, why would you want to buy properties that have been attacked by a hurricane or been damaged by a hurricane? Here's what happens. In every natural disaster, an insurance claim gets made. The owner gets made whole to the extent of the contract. The insurance company is always going to try to limit how much they pay, but eventually there is going to be a property that somebody has to do something with. It needs to be torn down. It needs to be rebuilt. It needs to be whatever. It just can't stay like an eyesore forever. It might for a while. Normally, it's a really good thing. It's a good thing that she brought up. You drive through nice areas, and when you see nice home, crappy home, okay? That is really good. One of two things on that crappy home. Either A, it's a tenant. They're renting that property. That's most of the time what it is on the crappy home. And then if it's not that, if it's nice home, crappy home, that person's in financial problem. That's a great house for you to try to buy. If the house and yard and everything looks like crap and everything else looks good, and you walk by and there's dead weeds and broken windows and it just looks bad or whatever, that's an ideal house. If the windows are boarded up, you walk in and it smells like death and mold and disgusting, you're like, that smells like money to me. So that's what you want. You want just disgusting, foul, gross, bad, because what you're going to do, what we'll see. Look, and here's the other thing too. This is a flipping class, but remember, as flipping 101, before you buy a property, you run the comparables and you look at 3 sales just like that property to find out what it's worth. So you can flip in any market, anywhere. You have to determine what is the current value of the property as it's sitting right now. Like if it just went for sale, what would it sell for? And whatever that number is, make sure you're paying 30% less or skip to the next property. Yes, question.
When you're going to your properties daily, what are you looking at?
Yeah, great question. For me, when I go daily, I just want to make sure that everyone has done what they said they were going to do from beforehand. So we have a schedule, and so I'm just mainly making sure 2 things. It's getting done, and it's getting done the way I want, right? So we're going to talk about that in the flipping part. Great question. But getting really meticulous. The reason I go so much, too, is because it makes them very afraid that I'm going to pop in and nobody's going to be there, and I'm going to call and say, hey, what's going on? How come nobody's here? That kind of thing. All right, let's look at a couple stats. How many homeowners are there in the United States of America? These are homeowners. According to your government, 230,000 people own at least one property, okay? Yeah,
Billion.
yeah, 230,000.
Billion.
Yeah, sorry, 230 million. Sorry. Yeah, you said million. You said million. 230 million. That's a lot of homeowners. So 67% of the population owns. So close to 7 out of 10 people at some point are going to have to sell something. What's the average home in the United States right now? Now that's 244,000, not 244 million. 244, so 250,000, let's say. That's the average. So let's take a look at some other stats here. How many people die every year? A lot of people die. About 1% of the population, a little less. Yeah, okay, let's keep looking at some other stats here. How many divorces? Maybe 700,000, so something like that. Okay, so what percentage of homeowners in America have no debt on their property? This is a good one. The one that you want to focus on is that last stat. I mean, yeah, it's nice to know there's 230 million homeowners, but you're not trying to buy 230 million homes. But do you see that bottom stat? What percentage of homeowners in America have no debt on the property? 44%. It's estimated that at least 4 out of 10, almost 4.5 out of 10 homes don't have any debt on them. Why is that important? Why is that important? Why would that be important?
They don't have to pay it off.
There's nothing to pay off. So when they close, depending on their tax situation, they're going to get all of that cash. Think about that for a second. So what ends up happening, where I'm going with this, on these people that own their home 44%, mom lives there forever, or dad lives there forever, passes away, the house goes to the kids or whatever, there's no debt on it. So you can close quick, sell quick, and they get a bunch more money, and it just, there's some kids out there just counting down the days till their parents pass away, they can get that money. I'm telling you, I've seen it, it's sad. But these stats don't lie. There's more than enough properties out there. People are dying every day, getting divorced every day, and 44% of them own their property free and clear, which means there's not nearly the important component about how much they actually sell, because all of it is coming to them. It's not like, oh, well, I got to pay off the house is $250,000, but I got a $100,000 mortgage. That's only going to give me $150,000. I really want a little more. It's whatever it is. That's all coming to them, and so it makes it really easy to make your offers and to buy properties when there's no debt on the property, because they just see the dollar signs. You're going to always run into, it's going to happen all the time, where there's going to be siblings that are going to fight, and that'll kill a couple of your deals. But overall, this is the big one. This is where you get all the properties from the death, divorce, and displacement. And it just, there are other ways, of course. Yes, absolutely. And we're going to talk about door knocking and letter writing and that sort of thing. And you can absolutely find them there. But this way, through the professions I'm talking about, you can pick any market in the country and start contacting the lawyers there and the accountants there, and you can start wholesaling deals there. We'll talk about that.